Wow, to be honest, I would replace the name Bright Apple Green with Willow Tree Green. No, I'm not joking. It's true. 'Cause look how willow it's giving me. Hello, Szewczaks. It's me, Maja Szewczak, and welcome to another Idea Sunday. Today, we'll be using this Japanese hairstyle head with ostrich face colored hair. So, it's like this. I don't mind the idea of the cabochon being a Japanese hairstyle girl's head. I just don't really like the execution of the shape for some reason, even though the idea was okay. Her skin is really pale, and I'm thinking of turning this into a willow tree. You'll start to see it. I'll use the hair, but the head with the face on it, I'll not use. So I'll try to cut the cabochon for the willow tree in a way that will not affect the face. Just cut off this and try to use it in a willow tree for dolls. I've tried to cut it to pieces without affecting the head. However, it did affect the head a little bit. Just the eyebrow got cut off. But the rest I'm going to use in the willow tree. Well, I have an idea what I'm going to do with this thing. Not in this episode. It will be something in Polish. And sorry, there will not be a translation to English of the episode with that. So, going to keep it for an episode in Polish. But this will go to the willow tree. And also cut out the rest. The face will not get used. We are using all of the cut off pieces from the cabochon, and the only piece we're not using is the face. And besides, how will I even turn this into a willow tree? Then I had some brown craft wire that could work for the base of the tree. However, I have to adjust it so it could be like a willow tree that grows its leaves downwards. Most trees are like this, while the willow tree is like this, but add the leaves. Just trying to bend it off camera. There. However, the wires, I want them quite shorter than this. Some of the cabochon pieces were glued onto the wire base for the willow tree. has to dry along with the other pieces that you'll see towards the end of the video turned into leaves. Then, while the willow tree was drying, I thought what to do with this face, and I changed my mind about doing an episode with it in Polish. However, I'll try to think of something else to use it with. The cabochons and the bead have dried. I'm going to use the brown marker to make it look like the tree bark. That's better. These parts of the cabochons have dried, but I'll just collect threads, like white threads, and then when they look like willow leaves, I will use bright apple green marker to color them to the willow tree. I'm making some willow leaves. They do have to dry overnight before I can turn them into willow leaves, like looking downwards. And I knew bright apple green was a good marker choice because I'm already feeling willow tree from just looking at it, even though the shape isn't right yet. And once getting the shape right, let it dry overnight. This glue is good for plastics and it dries pretty quick. So, because I've ended up with this, I'm going to make this look better and also make it look like a willow tree. So, we're going to use the cabochons and we're going to get the satin ribbons to be frayed and to use as the willow leaves. So we are going to dip it in different PVA glue. And we're going to set its shape. I only use that for setting shapes of hairs and hair-like things like threads when they're frayed. Camera, stop doing that. Okay. Finally it stopped. Time for the soak. The soak in glue would help it to have a leaf-like texture and hold its shape downwards just like a willow tree. Now it has to dry. Wow, to be honest, I would replace the name Bright Apple Green with Willow Tree Green. No, I'm not joking, it's true, 'cause look how willow it's giving me. As I add the frayed satin ribbons into the tree, now it's top heavy, so I cannot get this to stand on its own. But we will have to try to figure it out before the end of the episode. Let me see that. No, won't stand on its own. However, I hadn't fully covered it in those threads, but I will. And after it's fully covered in satin ribbon threads and it fully looks like a willow tree, I guess I'll have to stitch it to make like a garden-like landscape for a dollhouse or something, just to get it to stand on its own. Tied some frayed satin ribbons there. It is a little bit short for the leaves, but that's fine. I'll keep on going until they are all done. I'm still working on the willow tree, however, thinking, what should I do with the flower? I think I could use it like a decoration, but I'll just cut that off here and here. I kind of want to paint this, but if I was to paint it, I'll start with a white base before doing a more pastel yellow. So let's start with white acrylic paint and a paintbrush, just so I could get a blank canvas. Painted, time for it to dry. And while it's drying, I'll work on the willow tree. The leafy part of the willow tree looks good enough to stop the willow tree satin ribbon part of it. However, it does have to dry along with that flower that I'll use to decorate it with after both of these dry. Wow, that willow tree dried so quickly. However, there's still more to do to it. I'm going to get a piece of cardboard, cut it, and I'm going to stitch the tree to the piece of cardboard so it holds better. I will finish the backdrop in a different episode. But before I conclude the episode and the process of the willow tree, I'm going to put the flower in. But that will happen after it dries. Just going to show you the willow tree looks like this. It is kind of small if I use Nicholas Mellow with it. So Nicholas Mellow thinks it's really small, but let's say it's a really young, small tree. The tree is very small, but in a video or photo with my dolls, if I profile the doll like this, it could work. Just profile the doll like this and it will be fine. Okay, what about this flower, you ask? I think we're going to stitch it and make it look like a buttercup flower just beside the willow tree. The buttercup flower has been stitched to the piece of cardboard besides the willow tree. The willow tree is smaller than I hoped for, but that's fine. Let's say it's a really young willow tree. Or use that as let's say with Astrid Fizz, profile her like this. Astrid Fizz taking a walk, and the willow tree looks okay if it's that far away from her. That's the kind of effects with dolls you can do, even though the actual tree is very small. Astrid Fizz would be 10. Same with Marlene, Lolly Mallow, and Nicholas Mellow. But that's fine. However, the next episode, which I will not spoil in this episode, I'll try to make a taller tree than this, because that willow tree was my first episode where I made a tree for my dolls. But anyways, what do you think of my first idea Sunday to have me making a tree? Please tell me. I did change everything so much to the point that you don't even recognize the cabochons in it. But that's normally the point of Idea Sundays. But anyways, bye Szewczak. See you in another episode. Bye.